two parts was recognizing, and I probably should have put this in the very first video, but I'm gonna go ahead and do it now. Y'all see me looking over. I got some notes that I'm looking at, and trying to get out here and get pulled over by a state trooper. But yeah, I'm headed up here to Indiana to pick up a camper, take it down to Florida. But no, like I said, I should have put this in the first video, but I'm gonna go ahead and start it off in this one. What is PTSD? PTSD is short for post-traumatic stress disorder. Most of the time, you hear about it in veterans. But guys, anybody, and I mean anybody, can suffer from PTSD. It ain't got to be just veterans. It can be men, women, civilian, veterans, firefighters, police officers, healthcare workers, being in a bad relationship, going through sexual abuse, anybody can suffer from it. And basically it's caused from a traumatic event. And I'll get to those here in just a second, because those are some of the signs and symptoms. But I lost my train of thought, guys. So that's another sign. Memory loss. That can come from post-traumatic stress, or like veterans, an explosion or something like that. TBI, traumatic brain injury. And that's basically what PTSD is. It's an injury to the brain, and it doesn't necessarily mean that you've blown up or anything like that caused it. If that happened, then that can have a big effect on it. But guys, it's just like if you get a cut, or you break a bone or something like that. That's a physical injury to your body. Guys, your brain can take an injury too. And from seeing something, witnessing something, actually mentally or physically going through something bad, and basically it scars a section of your brain. And like I said, between firefighters, police officers, veterans, healthcare workers, some of the causes is, like I said, going through a traumatic event, whether it be physically or mentally. He was in a bad relationship. He was physically or mentally abused. You can suffer from PTSD from that. Veterans and firefighters, police officers, healthcare workers, stuff like that. Even if you was just out here driving up and down the road and you basically witnessed something, you come upon a real bad, horrific accident, and you saw something that you ain't never seen before. Guys, that's a scarring of the brain. That's something that's going to stay with you for the rest of your life. But in some of those professions, I mean, you get out here and you witness things and you see things that you're not used to. And sometimes you can be used to it, and then all of a sudden it just hits you and it just affects you different. Like, I mean, I'm a veteran, and I've seen some things. They not as bad as what some people have seen, but I have seen some things. And even things that you've done. But like as a firefighter, I'm also a volunteer firefighter. I'm also a reserve deputy sheriff. The adults, I usually handle that pretty well. Guys, I've seen dead bodies. I've seen people decapitated. I've seen burned bodies, just completely burned to a crisp. I've seen people we've had to go into the house and because nobody heard from them in over a month, and we go in there and they've been basically laying in their bed for over a month. So, I mean, stuff like that can affect people. The thing that really, I guess, sticks with me the most is kids. I deal with it and I do my job, but sometimes kids bother me. Cause I mean, kids, they're innocent. So, but yeah, that's, I mean, some of the things that can cause it. And there's other things. If I'm missing something, I apologize. Guys, don't just watch my videos. Go watch. There's tons and tons and tons of videos on this. You can Google it and read it. But let's see if I can pull some of my notes back up here. Let's see here. But yeah, some of the, I guess, signs is bad nightmares of the traumatic event, flashbacks, loud noises, guys, even seeing something or smelling something can bring back that memory, can trigger that memory. And you can be just out here just having a wonderful day, spending time with your family and your kids, and just having an outstanding day. Then all of a sudden you can hear something, see something, or smell something, and it will trigger it. And then you're pretty much on edge. Then that's when the PTSD kicks in. Guys, PTSD, it's not curable. It never ever goes away. I really don't like using the word treatable, but it's manageable. Under the right help and sometimes having to take medicine, it's manageable. I'm gonna jump off subject just real quick before I go to these notes. I should have put this in some other ones, but whenever I was talking about, first you got to recognize it. You got to recognize if you have it or not, and then once you recognize that you think that you have it, go seek help. Don't put it off. Don't wait. Go do it then. Go get help then. And because the worst thing you can do, and this is exactly what I did. Guys, I was in denial for years. Several years. And then people always told me, hey, you're not the same. You need help. You got a problem. You guys, whenever people come and tell you stuff like that, sometimes it sort of pisses you off. Because you're like, nah, I ain't got no problem. You're the problem. But after I recognized it, then I sort of thought that I could go and just sort of, I guess, treat it on my own. Just by watching videos and Googling it and stuff like that. I thought I could just take care of it on my own. And some people, you might can, depending on what the event was like. Most people cannot. Like I said, guys, you actually have to go seek professional help. But like I said, like guys like noises. Guys, whenever I got back from Iraq, you could so much as pop the top on a Coke can, and I would jump. And like I said, over time, it gets better. And going back to like it never goes away. Sometimes, guys, it like you come back from deployment or after you witness the event or whatever, then it's not like one of these kind of things like you break your arm. All of a sudden you feel it right then. Sometimes you may be fine for months and even years after that event, and then all of a sudden something can trigger it. But like I said, you can smell something and it trigger it. You can see something and it trigger it. Most veterans can't deal with fireworks like 4th of July and New Year's. I'm sort of 50-50 on that. If I'm the one setting off the fireworks, or if I'm sitting right there and I'm actually seeing the firework being lit and stuff like that, I'm fine. Where it starts bothering me and I start getting anxious and everything is whenever it's unexpected. Say if I'm over here and everything, and then all of a sudden my neighbors or something start setting off fireworks. Well, I'm not aware of it, so I didn't see it. So whenever that boom happens, then sometimes that startles me. But let's see. But it can be caused from seeing somebody injured, severely injured, or seeing somebody killed, or just seeing a dead body. It can even be caused from just the feeling of being physically harmed. I mean, you can be, say like if you was somewhere, say if you was in a store or a bank or something like that, and somebody come in and held it up at gunpoint. Even though you may not have been physically hurt, and even though nobody was physically hurt, that was still a mental traumatic event, and that can scar you. Some of the symptoms, like I said, nightmares, nightmares are usually whenever you're asleep. Waking up, cold sweat, or waking up shaking or jerking or whatever. Waking up just breathing heavy, and sometimes you may not even that happens to me a lot. But the thing is most of the time I don't even remember having a nightmare or what I was having a nightmare about or dreaming about. I just woke up in a cold sweat or shaking or breathing heavy. But let's see here. Flashbacks normally happen during the day whenever you're awake. That's what can be caused from hearing something, smelling something, seeing something that brings back that memory of that event. Sleeplessness. Guys, I hardly ever sleep at night. Normally it's real hard for me to get to sleep. And once I do get to sleep, I'm still up every couple of hours or so. Especially for veterans, whenever we're in the military, especially when we're over like Iraq or like Vietnam veterans or whatever, just any kind of veterans that's been in a combat zone, you have fire watch. So basically, while everybody else is sleeping at night, then you may have an hour or 2 or 3 or 4 hour shift to where you're having to stay up all night and basically protect everyone else that's sleeping. Well, sometimes I feel like that I'm still on fire watch, because like with my son, whenever he's asleep at night, I don't sleep. And like I said, guys, it's like I'm still on fire watch. I'm on a constant fire watch. Now, whenever he goes to school or work or whatever, he gets up, leaves or whatever, then I'm more easily to be able to go to sleep, because I'm there by myself. Loss of interest. Do you not enjoy doing the things that you used to love to do? You just don't have the passion or the desire for it anymore. Say if you love hunting or fishing or going to the beach or going to walks or going to the movies, going to the mall, out to eat, just even spending time with family. It's not really that you don't want to do them. Deep down inside, you want to. You just don't have that desire for it anymore, that interest for it anymore. That's a sign. Anger, irritability. Do you get angry easy? Going back to loss of interest. Same thing with me. I used to love doing all those things: shooting pool, bowling, hunting, fishing, all those things. Every once in a while, I'll still get out and do them, but not like I used to. I used to love going to the movies, going out to eat on a date or something like that. Guys, you'll hardly ever see me go to a movie. I don't go out to eat that much. I don't go to the mall. I don't go out. I just really don't like going out in public places. I don't like being around people. And that comes with another one I get to in a minute. But if I am, say like if I'm go out to a restaurant or somewhere like that, guys, I had to be not necessarily sitting in the back, but I had to have my back against the wall to where I could see everything going on around me. I can see the door, I can see what everybody's doing. And sometimes if I start getting anxious, I gotta get up and go. And that goes back to most of the time, whenever I say get up and go, that means it's time to go home. A veteran's safe place is his home. That's where he feels the safest. That's where he feels the most comfortable. And I'll probably end up doing it in another video for like family members and stuff that is with somebody with PTSD. How you should handle it. What you should be, what you should expect. And ways that you can comfort that loved one and make them feel safe and understanding and everything. So, but like with the anger and irritability, guys used to. I hate myself for it. Looking back, my son, whenever he was younger, back whenever I was in denial, guys, I would yell at him, I would cuss him. He didn't deserve all that. But just the least little thing, he could say something to me wrong. He could so much as just ask me a question. But if I felt like he asked it wrong, I get upset. He could look at me wrong. He could so much as knock a bottle of water off in the floor accidentally. Something that didn't hurt a thing, very easy to be cleaned up, and I would snap. Of course, a lot of that has to do with being in the military. I mean, being in the military, you're sort of programmed to not make mistakes. Everything has to be perfect. I like to remember being in the military and accidentally dropping the rifle because your palms were sweaty. How much trouble did you get in? See, we're programmed. Military, whenever you join military, guys, of course, those of y'all that's been in the military, you know. If you've never been in the military, then they completely break us down and rebuild us the way they want. Constantly on guard. Constantly looking over your shoulder. Going back to being in restaurants, having to have your back to the wall, watching everybody. Basically, it's trust. Whenever you was, say, over in Iraq or wherever, I mean, you depended on the person next to you for trust. You trusted that person. And whenever you come back to civilian life, well, all that's gone. So now you gotta rebuild that trust in somebody else. And it don't just come easy. Again, constantly on guard. The feeling like somebody's always out to get you. Because over there, somebody was always out to get you. So, you still have that mindset. Let's see here. Sometimes it can be from, again, going back, you're in the military, you're a firefighter, you're law enforcement, healthcare worker. You're the one that's supposed to be in control. That's the way that you feel. That's the way you're basically programmed. Is you're the one, because you're the one that's supposed to be helping people. And so you're the one that's supposed to be in control. And whenever something bad happens to somebody else or to yourself, then you feel like you wasn't in control anymore. Otherwise, why would it have happened? So that's one. Having a lack of support after the event. And that's going to come into, like I said, family members and stuff like that. People that support you. Even if it's not family members, friends, somebody professional, a counselor or something. You need somebody to support you. So let's see here. Guys, I'm trying to do this, make this video and watch traffic. I know this ain't the best idea to be driving and doing these videos and out here on the interstate and people feel like they gotta do 50 miles an hour. So that's another one, another sign. Road rage, getting upset. Usually this traffic, I'm okay. People getting out here acting stupid, speed limit 70 miles an hour, and they're sitting out here doing 45 miles an hour, or tailgating you, or whatever, cutting you off, stuff like that. That's when I start getting upset. That's whenever I start thinking they can hear me, but start yelling at them and cussing at them. Actually, guys, I've actually gotten tickets from being out here on the highway and having road rage. I'll be over in that lane, somebody just be over here just poking ass along, not wanting to pass or whatever, and doing well below the speed limit, and I can't get around them. Then all of a sudden I get behind them, man, I get right on their ass. And I've even done that in a big truck. And that is definitely not. When you got 80,000 pounds, you're not going to get stopped on a dime. And I'll be sitting there flashing my lights, blowing my horn at them. And then all of a sudden after they get out of my way, I'm gone. Then I look in my side mirror, my rear view mirror. What do I see? Blue lights. Oh, let's see here. It's going on 30 minutes. I want to try to keep these videos, like I said, 20, 25 minutes, but I'm going to try to get some of this done. I may make a part 2. I don't know. Feeling emotionally cut off from others. Basically feeling like that you're all alone. Feeling like nobody understands you. And guys, whenever you get in that situation, that's whenever you really need to go talk to somebody. At least go talk to a family member or friends. And because guys, whenever you start feeling like that, that can start leading to other things. Especially whenever you feel like that you're all alone, nobody cares, nobody loves you, nobody understands you. You start getting sometimes you start thinking, well, what's the point of going on? Sometimes you think that everybody, especially whenever you start seeing the hurt in others that you have caused, not intentionally, but just because of the way that you are. You start seeing that, then you may start feeling like that everybody's better off without you. Guys, that's not true. Do not think that. I know it's hard, but don't think that. Those people, they care about you. They love you. Even though you may have done things to hurt them. Even though they may not understand, they still love you and they still care about you. And sometimes you may think that, well, everybody'd be better off without me. Then you sit there and think, well, I'm the only one that's going to be hurt. Well, no, because the ones that you leave behind, those are the ones that's going to be hurting. You're hurting to be over. So you're not the one hurting anymore. The ones that you leave behind, those are the ones that's going to be hurting. So don't do that. I beg you, don't do that. Having trouble concentrating. Remembering things. Guys, like I said, some of these other things I've talked about is being able to maintain a relationship, having trouble concentrating, being able to maintain a job. Do you start things and don't finish them, or start things and it takes you forever to finish them? Things that you used to could start and you would work all day long to get them done. I'm like that. I may get up feeling great, fixing to tackle the world, be doing some things around the land, or hell, just cleaning the house, and I'm ready to do it. And as soon as I start, I just don't have that desire anymore. Trying to think, guys. Let's see what else. Do you pull yourself away from people? Do you distance yourself from people? Do you like to be alone? That's the way I am, guys. I like to be alone. I like dealing with things on my own time. That goes back to trust. Feeling like nobody understands you. You distance yourself from people. Let's see here. Yeah, like I was talking about earlier, considering harming yourself or harming others. Guys, you start feeling that way, you need to go get help. started using drugs to try to numb the pain and everything. So that's another sign of it. You need to get help. Like I said, guys, just feeling numb inside. You don't have the passion or the interest in doing things you used to do. You don't feel like nobody cares. You don't feel like nobody understands you. You just feel like you're all alone. Like I said, guys, I know there's more things. If I think of them, I'll do a part 2 of the signs and symptoms. Sorry this video got a little bit too long, but I hope y'all stayed with it. And guys, like I said before, whether it's my video or somebody else's video, if you're out here doing this research, then you're on the right path. You've done hopefully recognize that something's not right. So that's your start. Your second step is going to seek professional help. Whenever I say go here and seek professional help, I'm not trying to sit here and say that you're crazy and all that stuff, and because you're not. Guys and gals, as veterans, like I said, we're programmed not to let anything bother us. We're supposed to be strong. We're supposed to be the ones in control. We're not supposed to break down. And then plus being a guy on top of that, I'm not putting any girls down, but mainly guys, we're programmed to, like I said, we're supposed to be the tough ones. We're supposed to be the strong ones. We're supposed to take care of everything and everybody. So whenever we break down, now you start feeling inside and you're thinking others see you as weak. Guys, you're not weak. Whatever happened to you in life that caused this wasn't your fault. You had no control over it. It's just one of those things that unfortunately happens. My son, he's 19 years old. Whenever he was 8 years old, he witnessed, standing right there by her side, witnessed his mother die. That's something that, guys, he has to live with his entire life. That's something that he would never, ever get over. Not only sitting there witnessing it, but now he had to grow up through all those childhood years without his mother. And it even scarred me. We wasn't married anymore, but I still love her. Gave me one opportunity to come back, I would have. And I definitely wouldn't have taken it for granted. firefighter. I'll tell you a quick little story about that. Guys, the day that she died, I was driving a garbage truck at the time. And it wasn't our fire department that got called out, but I heard it on the radio. And it called out the address. And I recognized the address. So I tried calling her. And about 2 weeks before then, every single day, every day, right around about 12 o'clock, about noon time, she would call me. At first I was thinking it was unusual because she never done that. But me and her, we would talk. I talked to my son, and me and her talked a little bit more. But that day I never got a phone call. I think it was around about 2 o'clock, I think. And that fire page went out. So I recognized the address, picked up my phone, I was gonna try to call. Guys, I was in such shock just by hearing it on the radio. I could not even remember her name. So I could look it up on my phone to call. Then all of a sudden, whenever I sort of came back to, I called and called and called. No answer. So I called our dispatch center. And I asked, I said, what's the name on that address? And they told me. And I said, oh my God, that's my ex-wife. Guys, I was almost back to the landfill. I flew back to landfill. I didn't dump my garbage. I pulled in, I parked the truck, didn't even shut it off. I jumped in my pickup and I flew to their house, doing over 100 miles an hour. EMRs, they was already there on scene. So whenever I got there, I started doing CPR on her. Guys, that was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do in my entire life. Ever. Got her in the ambulance. I rode in the ambulance doing CPR on her all the way back to the hospital. Got a slight pulse. She still wasn't breathing on her own. Well, of course, I couldn't be back there anymore. I had to leave the room while they worked on her. Guys, I went into the waiting room. And I cried and I prayed. You know that song by Tim McGraw, Don't Take the Girl? I was begging God to take me, not her. I was begging him. Don't let my son grow up without his mama. Sorry, guys. But then so that was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do, is sit there and try to save the love of my life. And I was out of control. It was out of my hands. Couldn't do anything. And the next hardest thing I had to do was the next morning whenever I got the call, having to sit there and tell my son that he doesn't have a mama anymore. stuff like that can get to you. And it'll stay with you for the rest of your life. But going back to what I was going to try to get to before I shared that story with y'all. Growing up, my son growing up, sometimes whenever he'd act out, things like that, and he would try to sit there and use the excuse. And I'm not saying it was bad that he used the excuse, but sitting there saying that he done the things that he done, stuff like that, acted out because his mama died. Guys, that's PTSD for him. I've taken him to counselors and stuff, but in a lot of ways, my son is just like me. He likes to hold things in. He don't like to talk about stuff. He likes to talk about things on his time, whenever he's ready. I know that can be bad at times, but sometimes that's the only way that you can deal with it. Is just try to get through it as best you can, and then whenever you're ready, then talk about it. Go get help. But he would tell me that, and I would tell him that, son, you can't go through life using that as an excuse. It sucks, it happened. It was out of our control. Because God, He's the only one that knows when your time is ready. He's the one that's in control. We have no control. Like I shared in one of my videos when my dad passed. Guys, we're not promised tomorrow. But I would tell my son that you can't go through life using that as an excuse. And I would also tell him that life is not fair. Life sucks. No matter how good you got it, in certain ways, life sucks. Because it's not fair. I know that we're not supposed to question God's decisions and stuff like that. And guys, I know sometimes it's hard not to. Because you ask why. And even though that may be the only thing that you ask, you may just sit here and say, why, Lord? Why them? Why me? Well, that's questioning God. God has His reasons. And even though they may not seem like good reasons or fair or anything to us, then His reasons are always for the good. Maybe He knew something that was going to happen later in life to her. So He went ahead and took her home. So that way she wouldn't have to go through that and suffer. We don't know. The only thing that we can do is trust His decisions. told me that I was hard on my son, and yeah, I was. And I think at least I hope it turned out good, because he has turned out to be a very fine young man. I couldn't be more prouder of him. And I know his mama's looking down. I know she's proud of him. But sometimes, guys, the way that I am, I speak my mind. Sometimes with things that I say, I don't necessarily mean them the way the way they come out, but that's just the way they come out. But I would sit there and tell him that, son, life sucks. It's not fair. You just got to suck it up and go on. Because it's in the past. There ain't nothing you can do to go back and change it. So, anyway, guys, this has gotten on, getting close to an hour. I apologize. I hope that this video helped somebody. My other videos and stuff, I sit there and I say like, share, subscribe, all that mess. Any of y'all know anything about YouTube? Once you meet a certain amount, which I haven't gotten there yet, but you start getting a little small commission or whatever from YouTube. That's not what these videos right here are about, guys. I'll save that for my transport videos and stuff, not this. This is to get out there and help somebody. It's my way of giving back. I may not be able to help many people out there face to face, so hopefully somebody sees these videos, and I hope and pray that it helps you. But guys, I will say that if you like these videos and you feel like they're helping you, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button at least, and that bell notification, so that way whenever I do post new videos, then you'll be notified. And like I said, I'm going to try to do all these videos on Fridays around about 6 o'clock Central Time. Guys, I always like to end my videos with some kind of saying, and with these, I just want to remind everyone out there that you are not alone. You are not alone. So, guys, I love you. God bless you.